radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy. The OG on the marquee, Jaybird. And the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We're not the Quad City Sports Talk radio show. We are your Quad City Sports Talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn. Good afternoon, Quad Cities. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Here on ESPN 1170 AM. Dan Vasco is in studio with us. Coral is in from 7G. Serge is on his way. T-Roy is installing like a subwoofer or something at his house.
Man.
I have no idea.
Priorities.
With all these excuses not to hang out with me lately.
I know. Thank you for tuning in to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local here on ESPN 1170. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, noon to 2. You can listen to us on your radio. You can watch us and listen to us on Facebook Live. On your smartphone, go ahead and download the ESPN 1170 AM app, or on your computer, ESPN1170am.com. Click the upper right-hand area that says Listen Now, and you can listen to us talk about everything from the national championship to the Houston Astros stealing signs to The Bachelor. Coral says. So, Coral last night, and later on we'll talk about this, Coral.
Yes.
But as I was watching the national title game, and I'm assuming, Dan, you did too.
Yes.
Coral, you were busy taking notes to fill us in on anything that happened on Bachelor.
Indeed.
Yeah, so we'll get to all that. But the national championship game was last night. After 16 days, we finally had it. We crowned a national champion. The storybook ending is the storybook season is over. And it happened. LSU defeats Clemson Tigers 42-25. What do you think about the game, Vasco?
Well, LSU definitely earned it. Like, I thought it was going to be a much closer game, and it was for the first half. But second half, the LSU Tigers exploded. Joe Burrow played like a lot of people were expecting him to and hoping him to. I got to give a shout out because I was talking up Trevor Lawrence so much a couple weeks ago on the radio show here. And I still think he'll be probably a better NFL prospect down the line, but you never know. And Joe Burrow played lights out. The thing that impressed me the most throughout the game was both teams were coming after each other in terms of their quarterbacks, right? I mean, that's how you stop high-profile quarterbacks. Joe Burrow handled it better because he was poised the entire time. I mean, he didn't seem to get rattled too much. There were a couple, untimely sacks that he took, but there were plenty of times where he stepped up in the pocket and then found the right lane, rolled out, made plays. And I think back to the play near the goal line, which the drive didn't amount to much, and it was a play called back, but he was sacked at the goal line, and he somehow got out of it and rolled right and completed a 15-yard pass. Gets called back for holding or whatever, but those are the types of plays you need to make to win a national title. And look, I mean, they completely earned it.
We're going to talk about a lot of that and some of the other things going on in the game, but just some notes on the game last night. This is LSU's first national championship since 2007. Like you said, Clemson did have the lead. They were leading 17-7 at one point in the second quarter. Joe Burrow put up 463 passing yards and 6 touchdowns, no turnovers. Trevor Lawrence had 13 overthrows, which was a record.
Yep.
Which is honestly, that's a dumb record to keep track of. It's one thing to say it like if you're Pat McAfee to be like, oh, I'm getting a note that he's had 13 overthrows. It's the most in maybe like his career or whatever else. But like to put it in publication later, and I saw it today in other publications that it's just dumb to mention it, but in publication. Clemson, this loss is a 29. They had a 29 game winning streak going into that, and then really it's Joe Burrow. It's the Joe show. It's Joe Cool. He's national champion, Heisman Trophy winner, set title game record with 6 touchdowns, first QB to have 60 touchdown passes, most touchdowns in a season. He's responsible for 65 touchdowns this year. Set a new SEC record with 5,671 passing yards from a school that its entire highlights have been people like Fournette and
right,
running
exactly,
back.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive. It actually, statistically, when put it all together, is the greatest quarterback season of all time in college football. I mean, it's incredible. That's amazing to come from a guy who, no one gave a shot, right? I mean, they did. Obviously, he went to Ohio State. It's not like it was a scrub, but the point being, no one really saw this coming. And for a guy like him to do what he did,
he was an undrafted free agent at the best on Mel Kiper's board before the season.
Yeah. And I just feel bad for him because he's gonna get inherited here with the Bengals front office and the organization. Maybe he's the guy to turn it around, but I would feel bad for him if he ends up going there and they ruin another quarterback, much like the Browns. It's just like. Well, sometimes you do want to go first overall, but a lot of times you don't want to go too early because you're going to the teams that are always there, seemingly. So it's a toss-up. But, man, he's going to get his money, and, man, what a season he had.
Other records that were broken, Jamar Chase had 218 yards receiving. He broke Alabama's tight end O.J. Howard's 208 yards record for most receiving yards in the national title game during the college football playoff BCS era. LSU is the first team ever to beat each of the top 4 teams in the preseason AP poll by an average margin victory of 21 points.
Yeah. That's crazy. And how many top 10 teams that I think they played
the first
6
team
top
to
10
beat
teams
7 AP top 10 teams and the first team in SEC history to finish 15-0.
Yep.
7 AP top 10
That's
teams.
the definition of earning it. You had to play the best to get to this point, It's impressive.
The way too early odds are already out. Clemson is a 2-1 favorite to win the 2020 national title. Trevor Lawrence, how you mentioned. And it wasn't just you. Dan Orlovsky was there. Okay, real quick before it. Did you watch it on just ESPN alone?
Yeah.
Don't ever do this again.
Okay.
If they ever give you the opportunity, because they have 4 different channels. ESPN did.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
I like the camera angles on the original broadcast.
Yeah, Herb Street's great. I can't say not to because Herb Street is just and Fowler. They bring everything. I mean, a plethora of stuff. But if you want pure
analysis?
Adrenaline, and nonsense, and you don't know what's going on the ESPN2.
Okay.
With Pat McAfee, Dan Orlovsky, and then 2 other guys.
Pat McAfee does it?
They were
I'm
on
already
LSU
sold,
and they were on Clemson sidelines. They were on, and it is pure adrenaline. Legitimately, folks, I'm telling you right now, I've never done cocaine. That's not a lie. I felt like these guys, this is pure speed. Adrenaline, like a shot to the heart of adrenaline.
That's awesome.
It was crazy, and I couldn't stop watching it. I loved every minute of it. I like Dan Orlovsky a lot. He goes on First Take in the morning sometimes, or he'll be on the other show with Greenberg. He does a good breakdown, and he did too. And he right away was like, even during the game, even the second half, they're like, who would you take first pick if Lawrence come out? He's like, Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence. I don't know how you can do that after watching Joe Burrow, but like you said, Trevor Lawrence, he's a true sophomore.
Trevor Lawrence kind of has just the complete package. Joe Burrow is probably going to be a good NFL quarterback, and you're almost splitting hairs when you're talking about what's what. But I just like to keep in mind that Joe Burrow's 23.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence is 20 years old. Trevor Lawrence is 20 years old, lost his first game. I don't even know when he lost in high school. So the guy wins games. It's kind of like the Deshaun Watson thing where you could have questions about this or that, but you can't question the fact that the guy just constantly wins. There's something to be said for it.
And they'll be back again. But like I said,
they will. Yeah, They should be the favorites.
Yeah, it was incredible what McAfee and those guys are doing on the sideline. It's just it's fun to see guys that are a fan. They're a fan at the same time.
They react.
They're very professional. Their reaction.
That.
There you go.
Yes.
They're a reaction fan. Every kickoff from McAfee is just boomer. It's out of here. Everybody's cousin.
No, McAfee's hilarious. Yeah. He does stand up too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that guy works, man.
He does.
He's gambled on himself.
He's pretty much a self-starter. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he got out of what I don't know too much of the history of him, but he pretty much gambled on himself. He left whatever podcast forum he was on.
I think it was Barstool.
I think it was Barstool as well.
Yeah.
And he gambled on himself, and he's got his own show now, and it's gotten into. I mean, every time there's a mention of ESPN Monday Night Football, he's always out there lobbying for himself to do it. And
I think it'd be great for
think
them.
him and let
Monday Night Football has just suffered so much over
let him
the
be the
past
sideline
years.
guy. Let Romo, give him the $15 million, give Romo the 14.
If he takes over for Booger, I don't think anyone would be complaining too much.
I think he does a fantastic job. Coral, it's a big day.
It is a big day.
It's the Seltzer release day. You were here last
Seltzer
Tuesday.
City.
Yeah, you were here last Tuesday, and we talked about this.
Yep.
And today, now you can go out to your local establishments if they get delivery today, or your places where you purchase at grocery store or liquor stores, and get Bud Light Seltzer.
Yes.
They've even if the summer of 2019 was the summer of seltzer, Bud Light's making 2020 their year of seltzer, right?
Yeah, they are.
But as we've mentioned before, they're the only one with the strawberry.
Yes. The only one with the strawberry.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and the strawberry is very good. It's very natural tasting strawberry.
That's my favorite one out of all four. Some of the guys at work aren't the biggest fan. They like the black cherry and the mango the best. And then a couple of my coworkers do like the lemon lime. I like that one best on ice with the lime.
The lemon lime, we had it yesterday.
Yes.
I mean, last week. The lemon lime is straightforward lemon lime. It's not going to throw you for a loop. The strawberry is very natural tasting.
So these
and
are
the black
all
cherry's good.
naturally flavored.
Mango's got a lot of kick to it with as far as fruit that gets you.
Yeah, the mango has the most flavor, I think.
Which one can I open?
Whatever one you want.
Vasco, do you want one?
Yeah.
There's
Which one do you want?
multiples
I'm
of
trying
these.
to decide. It's honestly, for me, between the black cherry and the strawberry, so I don't know which one to
Whichever
go
you
for.
want.
Which one are you doing?
Probably the black cherry.
All right, I'll do the strawberry then, because it's my favorite fruit.
I'm excited that we get to talk about Bill Cowher going to the Hall of Fame too later.
Yes,
You're
dude,
Steelers.
I'm so excited for that.
So,
Yeah.
this is from 7G, supporter of the show.
Bud Light Seltzer. Okay, something I just wanted to clarify really quickly. Some people are confused about if they have alcohol in it. Yes, it is 5% alcohol. These are gluten-free, 100 calories, 2 grams of carbs, less than 1 gram of sugar.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Why
These are
does
tasty.
why does the can have to be this way?
What do you mean?
Well,
the slim can?
Yeah.
Because
Makes you feel like you're getting a bigger drink.
Exactly. Like Michelob Ultra, they started with the slim cans, and for whatever reason, whenever something comes out in this slim 12-ounce can, it's the same as a regular can in fluid ounces, but it makes you feel like it's some type of marketing thing that makes you feel like it's healthier. And you know what? It works.
Okay,
It's
so
slimmer. It's
that's
literally
that's
like
word
the
I was looking
optics
for.
of it.
Slimming, right?
Yeah.
You feel like so, but now the Mick Ultra. If this
Yep.
came out, does Mick Ultra still do theirs in the slim
Yep.
can? Okay, and that's what you obviously Mick Ultra with the 98 calories or whatever else. They're trying to push this. This only has 100 calories. They're trying to push healthy. So
Right.
if it's in the other can, you just feel like the optics are that you're still just drinking
Right.
like the King of Beers.
Like the
and it's not
natural
about-
light seltzers are in the regular sized 12-ounce can that you're used to seeing with any other beer. They're not too worried about their nutritional facts on theirs. They want the high alcohol and they want the flavor in it.
It's the optics of it. It's why
Right.
people won't order a Budweiser or a Mick Ultra on draft because one, people want you to see that they're drinking the King of Beers.
Yes.
The
Right,
label.
yeah.
Or the Mick Ultra, those who are out there because bikini season is right around the corner, the ladies, they
you
want
go.
you to see that, hey, I like to party,
Right.
but I'm taking care of myself. This is a Mick
know
Ultra.
what?
Let's not forget, too, if you go out with a bunch of friends, you're going to go to, like, Fort Lauderdale for spring break, you can fit more of these cans in a cooler.
You're not wrong.
It's much better for the packaging aspect
And
of things.
you know what just occurred to me? Everyone says, why are they releasing a seltzer in January? Well, spring break is usually in March, right?
Yeah, it's a couple.
If you're looking for the
months
better for
away.
you, you're looking to have alcohol but not have too many calories, too many carbs, you want to slim down for spring break, this is it. That just occurred to me.
Yep.
This is
You need to take that
So
to the boys
yes,
upstairs.
seltzer in January.
Yeah.
I'm sure
You
that's
got to
why
get
they
out
did
ahead of
it,
the
but-
game, too.
when was the turn on the pushback of seltzer? Because honestly, I was there from the very beginning because I don't care. It's refreshing. I had seltzer. I
they're
was like,
good.
you know what? On ice, and the only pushback I got was basically for me was I was like, yeah, I'll take, and I'm not going to mention any competitors. I'll take this, but will you put it on ice for me? Just put it on ice for me because I just don't
Yeah.
really want to deal with the your man card
Yeah.
type of thing. But then all of a sudden, somebody cracks one open. man who thinks like, oh, I got to just drink beer. And then they're like, hey, that's not bad.
Yeah.
The seltzers are refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of like
then there's
these.
no
They have
pushback
the
anymore.
The
color,
taste
but
don't lie.
Yeah, there's no pushback anymore.
I really like the strawberry. It's
strawberry's
everything I
good.
wanted it to be. It tastes like an actual strawberry.
That
but
makes me
without the
happy,
sweetness.
Coral, because without ever tasting it, I know you put on social media when the strawberry, you're like, finally, somebody's doing the strawberry.
As soon as they released the flavors on social media officially, I knew before they posted it, but when they posted it, I was like, finally, a strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you drink, you get a whiff of strawberry too.
Yes.
So it's like,
It's a whole sensory experience.
yeah, it really is.
You guys are
It's
going to
like
be
VR without the VR goggles.
You guys are going to be out pushing this all over the place, right?
Oh, yes. So, this Thursday, from 2 to 4 p.m., we're going to be hitting up just about every single grocery store and convenience store to sample out Bud Light Seltzer. And then I'm going to be hitting up everywhere the rest of the month. But tomorrow I'm going to Rookies. We're having a Bud Light Seltzer party. Thursday we're going to Carriage House, having a Bud Light Seltzer party. Thursday like I said, Thursday 2 to 4 p.m. If you really want to try this stuff, and before you buy it, go to any of your local retailers. We're probably going to be there. We have every single person in 7G participating in sampling on Thursday. Sign shop, sales reps, everyone.
Say that again. What do you mean on Thursday? You guys are just going to be out everywhere?
Out everywhere from 2 to 4 p.m. Like every Hy-Vee, Fairway, convenience store. We're going to be in Jewel Osco.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
So don't go out to the warehouse on Thursday if you want to talk to an actual
There's
person.
probably going to be warehouse people there, but
okay.
they still got to process orders. But almost every single person, we're doing Dubuque, Davenport, Clinton, Cedar Rapids, Iowa City.
What's the why is just such the big push?
It's Anheuser-Busch's biggest bet this year, basically. So we're getting behind it too.
Do you remember any type of a rollout with this much push behind it? I mean, I was a fan of the lemon iced tea beer, but you guys didn't push that nearly. Yeah, Natter Days was a big one, was it?
Natter Days was a huge one last year, and that was one that they never told us about until pretty much it showed up, and we were like, what is this? And then they said, you need to push the heck out of it. That, and then Natural Light Seltzer was a pretty big push, but still not as big as Bud Light Seltzer, but they're going to be doing a huge Super Bowl ad for Bud Light Seltzer. I mean, they're really, really pushing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
They're putting a lot of dollars behind it, so it's just on the distributor now to also be able to push
last
it.
week you mentioned that, this is priced right at the same range as all your other competitors, right?
Yes, and actually I heard competitor prices are going up, but this is staying the same.
Ooh.
Don't
There you
quote me
go.
on it, but that's just the rumor on the street.
All right. Well, we're going to take our first break, come back and talk more with Coral and Vasco. And we just mentioned bikini season, spring break, and it's going to be that time of year, time to start thinking about the new year and hitting the gym. The Bettendorf Life Fitness Center has everything you need for a new you and a new year, no matter what your age. You most likely heard many times that exercise is good for you, and it's the truth. Being fit enhances your physical appearance, and more importantly, it makes you feel great. Getting the right amount of exercise increases energy levels and can even help improve your mood. Enjoy activities like tennis, running up and down the court, up and down the basketball court, doing sprints on the track, or swimming in the pool. No matter what your workout routine involves, The Fit has a gym complete with everything you'll need to feel great, get strong, and live long. Check out what the Bettendorf Life Fitness Center has to offer at their webpage, lifefitnesscenter.org, and go and like their Facebook and Instagram pages at BetLFC. Stop in The Fit today and take a tour at 2222 Middle Road in Bettendorf. Go ahead and join up, and go to the webpage as well. You can find all kinds of things that are coming up, like the volleyball clinics or any of their classes that they have for your little ones out there. And you guys know me. You guys listen enough. I go to The Fit, go there daily, enjoy a workout there, and enjoy the sauna. Fitness Center on the Middle Road. Check it out. And they're always doing new sign-up specials. So go to the webpage. We'll be back soon at Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
This is Turk Wendell, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. ESPN 1170 AM.
The Circle Tap in Davenport is your place to catch the big game on February 2nd. Watch the championship game on one of their 16 flat-screen TVs or relax on the heated patio. Enjoy $2 domestic cans, $7 big-ass Bloody Marys, and cash giveaways every quarter. Plus, one lucky winner will walk away with $100 at the end of the game. Soak up your booze with $6 pulled pork sandwiches and fries, or grab a rack of Circle Tap's world-famous ribs. Enjoy great food, great drinks, and great friends during the big game at the Circle Tap, West Locust Street, Davenport.
The new year keeps rolling along at Augustana College. The winter sports teams are in the midst of tough CCIW schedules. Men's basketball returns to the Carver Center on Wednesday the 15th with a home game with Wheaton. Tip-off is at 7. There's more to follow. Shortly, men's volleyball hits the Carver Center hardwood. But don't forget about wrestling, swimming and diving, indoor track and field, women's basketball and bowling. For more game information, visit augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogalski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night, Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
Car old? Need it sold? Get rid of that old car and do a good deed at the same time. It's the Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction coming soon to Coal Valley. That's right, it's back. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or motorcycle, and if you live within 40 miles of Coal Valley, they will even pick it up, even if it doesn't run. All donations are tax deductible. Call 309-799-7044 or visit them online at arrowheadyouth.org. Car old? Need it sold? Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction. Stay tuned for an auction date in Coal Valley.
Back by popular demand, Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen. Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sellout audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TaxSlayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TaxSlayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media. It's Putt-A-Round time. Get your foursome together for the 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Putt-A-Round. Over 20 custom-built holes transform the River Center into the most innovative mini golf course ever. Only $30 per person and great for any skill level. Register at puttaround.org before January 17th to be entered into a Quad City staycation giveaway. The 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sister Putt-A-Round, sponsored by Wells Fargo and the Quad City Area Realtors, January 29th through the 31st at the River Center in Davenport. Sign up today.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand?
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike three.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
Can't leave the office during lunch? You can still listen to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on the ESPN 1170 app. Download it today and never miss a thing from the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. We're live here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright TV and Security. Busy, what are you laughing about?
They're on the Heritage Pub Facebook comment thread.
Yeah?
They're saying that they made me their queen.
I don't understand.
I don't know.
Oh, hold on. Say that again. On the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread,
Uh-huh.
They're saying what? They made you, what? Did we vote for a homecoming queen or something?
Apparently I'm the queen now, and I need a crown made of seltzer cans. Get on it, Jay.
And Andy wants you to have seltzer shots ready outside during the Bix. ready to go.
Right in front of the mansion?
Apparently.
Okay.
Outside the studio during the Bix.
Tell you what, that's not going to hurt your time. This isn't.
No.
Because it's light and refreshing.
Super light.
I know you guys co-op this thing, and you guys bring in other people you work with, like Big Grove, which I love Big Grove. I've not only did they have phenomenal guests come on here, it's just great. But I'm fine with the rest of the year if you just want to keep bringing in these seltzers.
Does it fit into your goals?
Yeah. I again, like I said, I have to go up. I don't have to. I get the pleasure of going up and covering Iowa basketball and wrestling in Iowa City like for the next 2 weekends.
Oh, nice.
And I really seriously contemplate in the middle of that snowstorm stopping at Big Grove and picking up some color TV.
Yeah.
But I was like, I got to get back. And every time I walk out, because you stick around afterwards, and you do Vasco, you do the post media conference, and it's dead in there. It's still kind of cool when you're in like Carver or Kinnick, and it's dead. You're like,
the silence is kind of like awe-inspiring almost.
And then you get in the car, you walk there, and I'm like, you know what? It's not too far away from Big Grove. I could probably stop and pick something up on the way. So.
It's really not far.
They've done a good job.
There's nothing like a dead quiet Kinnick Stadium, though.
Yeah.
At night, it's just something so like both ominous and like amazing all at the same time.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I've like done that, like where I've texted my buddies and been like, I can't believe that I get to do some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in Kinnick Stadium and thinking about like the first time I ever went to it and just blown away being at my first Iowa game and like you said, even when it's just there's maybe 3 people there. You know, they're cleaning up, they're doing whatever
they
else.
got the groundskeeping crew or whatever, and that's
Carver's
that's
the same way. You're just you're sitting there typing away trying to do a post game blog or something, and you know that people just want you to go home so they can sleep.
Right.
And then every once in a while you have like a player just out there just shooting baskets after a game.
It's just an area so big with no one it's kind of cool. Almost like overwhelming a little bit, but it's awesome.
Iowa does have a game tonight. Iowa basketball game there in Evanston against Northwestern. Iowa's 11-5 on the year, 2-3 in the Big Ten. Northwestern 6-9, 1-4. The big deal here is this was in Don Doxey's Quad City Times article today. I think in like 37 home games in the Big Ten, the home team has won like 32. So it is not automatically an easy game for Iowa to play this game at all. This is the only regular season contest against Northwestern. And, in fact, 3 of the Iowa's next 4 games are one plays. Northwestern, Rutgers, and Wisconsin. Iowa will host Michigan on Friday night. I'll be up there in that. Last time these 2 teams met was in February of last year. Iowa rallied from a 15-point deficit to beat Northwestern. And Jordan Bohannon sank the winning shot with 0.6 seconds left. Some other...
that will not happen this time around.
No, it will not happen this time around. After this game, Iowa will have 3 straight games at home. Michigan on January 17th, I just mentioned. Rutgers January 22nd, and Wisconsin January 27th. So I hope they play the way they did on Friday night. Because of the weather and everything, it wasn't a very big crowd, but an incredibly loud crowd.
Yeah.
It was really, really odd. I mean, it was...
The people that were there were pumped. You got number 12
and
Maryland.
I was really impressed how they brought it. Like they said that they had like over 11,000 come through the door, and I don't know. Like I saw something that somebody wrote.
It's kind of surprising just because of the weight of the matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they were number 12. Maryland was number 12, and
they were supposed to be the Big Ten's best team, coming into the year, and the home teams continue to win in the Big Ten. That's been the theme.
That's the thing,
right?
yeah.
I mean. Hopefully that doesn't continue, I guess, for Iowa fans. But
no, I hope not.
5.5 point favorites.
Yeah, they went on a 14-0 run. I was a little behind. I think I tweeted on there that I took credit for the 14-0 run because as soon as I sat down and got everything ready to cover the game, they went on a run. So sparkle, and then it was after that. I mean, it was just they just went after it. It wasn't anything much more after that. Iowa holds a 118-60 advantage over Northwestern in this series, and the Hawkeyes have won 10 of the last 13 meetings including both of the contests last season. Like I mentioned, this is the only one this year. So this game will be on tonight as well. So go ahead and check that out. Go for the Hawkeyes. All right. National championship game.
Yes.
It's too much. We live in a day and age where it's fine to go to social media and point things out. The referees in this game are Pac-12 referees that have come under plenty of scrutiny on games that they've messed up. Now they're considered the best of the best in Pac-12, but each one of them brought a little bit of baggage into this. The offensive pass interference call against Clemson that would have made it, I think, just a 7-point game.
Yeah. I thought that was a little weak, for sure. In a national championship game.
In a national championship game, when it could have been called either way.
Right. And those types of plays happen every week across the league all the time. When it's two guys jockeying for position and things like that, it didn't seem to me like it was much of a push-off. But, I mean, what are you going to do, you know?
Let's just go back to, you and I are not, or all three of us, are not referees.
No.
But when you see enough games that right away that you see it in blatant and you go, there's a flag before it gets thrown. All right? You can get used to it. And it's one of those things like, I'll say it, I'll watch a game, I'll have a game on, and kids will be in the room, and I'll say, there's a flag before it comes, and then they think I'm a genius. All right? They think I made it happen. But you know pass interference when you see it.
Yeah.
There was no way when that flag came that I right away I was like, no. The replay
it
said
seemed like
no.
DB was behind the entire time and was trying to make up ground, and then was not in a good position balance wise and lost his balance. I mean, yeah, were their hands touching each other? But both were, you know. Mm-hmm. It's just like the Minnesota Vikings call, like and the Saints and everyone wanting, the push off there. I don't think you call that. Kyle Rudolph in the back end of the end zone. It's two guys jockeying for position. Mm-hmm. It's a very similar thing in my opinion, but
there's some other things. There was the run by the run by Edwards, and by the way, for 110 yards, the running back for LSU, fantastic. You want that guy yards after first hit. We could break that down. He ran hard the entire night, 110 yards. But there was that one run out of bounds. They showed the replay. His hand clearly touches the out of bounds. They don't stop the game. They don't ask for a replay. Nothing.
Yeah.
They get off and go. And then Clemson had a situation where it was did he have control when he went out of bounds, and they went for a replay.
Yeah, it's how are you picking and choosing your moments that a lot of people
then
had to take issue
you've
with.
got the social media warriors or justification saying, well, Clemson got all the calls asked in the semifinals, so it serves them right. Do you know what I said to them? That was last year. Get over it.
Oh, Jay.
That's what I said to them. All the social media guys that wanted to point out, oh, Clemson shouldn't have been in here anyway. They got the benefit of all the calls. It's just, you can pick and choose. I'm not going to beat up anything on that, but I did look into the referees, and I wasn't the only one that it was out there as well, that they were Pac-12 and different games that each one of them, like I said, they had their baggage that they brought to it. Once that pass interference call happened and Clemson punted, my text to my buddies was, it's over. Clemson's done. And not only that, there was a time where, and again, I watched this ESPN too, so I don't know what Herb Street or Fowler was saying, but Clemson's driving down there, and like I said, their running back is doing a great job, and Edwards was falling down at the right time because, the clock.
Yeah.
And then Clemson's not calling a timeout, and they're the guys on the sidelines that I was listening to on ESPN too. Dabo's letting them have their moment.
Are you talking about that?
Dabo, look at Dabo, class act, letting them have their moment, not calling a timeout because one says it like, I can't believe they're not calling timeout, and like, no, Dabo, he's letting them have their moment. This is great. He's such a sportsman. I'm like, this is not what I want to see. I don't want to. I don't.
And I highly doubt that was what it was. Mm-hmm. Like they're still playing a football game. Like I don't think he's like thinking too much about that. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but
There was a good breakdown beforehand that Dabo likes to use analogies and use movies as references. I wasn't a big fan of him using Rocky IV in this situation. And I wasn't a big fan of ESPN exploiting him using Rocky IV because they actually used the training montage songs before they went to even kickoff. And then they came back with the story that Rocky IV. And his thing was basically they're on their home turf, which 80 miles away.
Yeah.
Just because Rocky goes and fights in Moscow in Rocky IV doesn't make LSU communist. I don't.
Right.
I didn't understand that at all.
What?
Like,
I didn't even know that was the thing.
That was he likes to make references to motivate him, and it was on the ESPN feed.
Yeah, so that's when you're trying to force a reference because you can't, you don't know what else to do. So, it's kind of like this.
Being a Rocky fan, I mean, my ears perked up as soon as I heard the music. I hear the instrumental, and I know that's a training montage. I'm like, all right.
Really, you're a Rocky fan?
Yeah, poor Keto. Yeah.
just a little.
I would have never guessed.
Just a little.
Never.
Just a little bit. So, again, like we said though, Vasco, that's the greatest quarterback season of all time, right?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, there's
no question. Did you see Andy Smith just commented saying the victory cigars were awesome? Did you see that
Oh,
the
my
picture
goodness.
of Burrow on the couch with the cigars?
I don't really like to be that account that uses swear words, but that's all I could think of. And when I on Twitter, I did that cigar, and then I wrote, "Can you imagine being this effing cool?" Like I did debate it, and I'm like, this is the truest way I feel. And I've told you guys this.
Yeah, because it's an emphatic, like there's no other exclamation that kind of drives the point home.
He's just sitting there in his uniform.
Yeah,
one his right leg over his left, just folded, and smoking a cigar.
That's gonna be like it's like on par. Obviously, it's not necessarily close, but it's like the Joe Namath photo, right, where he's laying on the beach with like all these women around. It's like an iconic moment. It's like Joe Burrow. That's gonna be his iconic picture.
Joe Burrow could right now skip the NFL, go to Hollywood, put together a series of A-Team movies.
Dude, forget that.
Be George Papard's character Hannibal, and just smoke a cigar at the end and just say, "I love it when a plan comes together."
How about just Instagram? He'll just start his own Instagram business where he just posts pictures of himself with cigars in various locations.
Folks,
people follow that all day.
Undisclosed.
Yeah, listeners, if you get tired of me talking about my crushes,
find out where I'm at.
If you get tired of me talking about my man crushes, it went through the roof when I saw this.
Yeah,
like that guy is.
It's hard
not
to like. Yeah, it's hard not to be a fan of that guy.
You know what's kind of funny though? Trevor's not even old enough to have a cigar.
He's not.
That is true.
He's not. You're correct. Can't have a beer. Can't have a cigar. And Joe's like, hold my beer.
Hold my beer while I smoke.
Don't drink it.
Don't drink it. Just hold it.
Is the NCAA going to look into the OBJ handing out money to the LSU players?
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I saw that. I
don't know enough about
Twitter
it either, but it's enough for me to go, I don't think you should do that.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like a former player who's been in the NCAA, like you should know that. Like at the very least, it's gonna cause some conspiracies or at the very least just questioning what's going on. Like it's gonna bring unwanted attention. But that's OBJ though, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
do you think it's gonna be like? This isn't. It's not good. It's not a good look.
It's not good. No, it's not.
Speaking of not a good looks, viewer-wise, can we talk about AB and his video?
Yeah.
Antonio Brown.
Lay the case.
What's the backstory of this? I watched it, and then in fear, I actually watched it with my kids around, and I shouldn't have because of what all the words that were used. And at the point, after about 20 seconds, I was like, I got to shut this down. And I didn't do much more. The cops are at his place. Can you tell me the background of this? Or?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't.
Well, anyway, it's not good. If you guys go out there, and plenty of people are like, this man needs help.
Yeah.
He's pretty much just kissed his NFL career goodbye, if there ever was going to be one.
Yeah.
He's got the cops out there. They're taking his kids and his lady friend or the mother of his children. I don't know what to call it for. He calls her a thief. Says a lot of things to the cops. The cops took and
it's him holding the phone, right?
Yeah.
It's from his perspective the whole time?
Yeah, it's his phone. And he says a lot of things to the cops. A lot of things that a normal person wouldn't up with.
Wouldn't be saying.
Yeah, wouldn't put up with. And then, yeah, if you get time, go back and look at that.
The thing
it's scary.
I will watch it, and it did, pique my curiosity for a moment, but ever since this whole stuff throughout this past season, it's been so like mentally taxing just for a fan, like for myself, that I've kind of just it's kind of just like brushes off. Like every time he does something crazy, I'm just like I don't care about this guy anymore. Like I don't want to, because that's how they control their image and their, for good or bad. A lot of people think that bad publicity, or there's no no publicity
that's what I was going down
is
too.
bad publicity. And that's kind of the thing he wants. I'm like, why? Like, we need to just stop caring. And like, I do think the guy's got something, going on.
I agree with you.
I don't know if it's just complete and utter narcissism, like sociopathic. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but the stuff that he continually does to seemingly just sabotage every potential opportunity. It's very confusing, but yeah, no, I mean, I did see that it was a video of the cops, and they were taking, children away. So it's like, what? I mean, there were 2 years ago that he was throwing furniture out of his Miami condo, and it hit a toddler, and injured a toddler.
Yeah.
And they ended up settling out of court or something like that. But it's like, this guy is an absolute wild card.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, an absolute, you never know what's going to happen with him. Watch him play, though, next year. Watch it somehow happen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bill Cowher over the weekend gets the news that he's going to the NFL Hall of Fame.
Much better news.
Much better news to talk about.
I feel like I saw something about that.
Yeah, it
Jimmy
was cool how
Johnson
they
too.
did it because they surprised him,
Yeah.
in the middle of a broadcast with it.
I think I saw that, and then I got distracted.
Well,
and I didn't
so
read it,
makes me
but-
feel like the Hassler should be walking in and surprise you and automatically put you in the guest
Make
Hall
you
of
the queen.
Fame. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guy. Hey,
I think
while
you
you're
need a
on the
frame
air,
of me right
while
here.
you're on
need
the
the
air, we're gonna
crown.
put you in the guest Hall of Fame. So he's got. Is he a Hall of Fame coach? I haven't even looked at the stats. It's just
Yes.
worth.
Yeah.
Okay. And on
Yeah,
what?
I think so.
On what?
The most glaring one that doesn't really get talked about much, and it's kind of more, I guess, of an in-depth stat. But first off, he's been to 2 Super Bowls, won one, right?
Okay.
He's won plenty of playoff games. He won the division several times.
Okay.
And he coached for 15 years.
Okay.
A long coaching career. By far, I don't know what his exact winning percentage was, but it was in the 65, somewhere around there, I want to say. And that's pretty good. But the glaring one for me is, people talk about playing with leads and how important it is and not giving up leads. He was probably the epitome of that. In his career, if they led by more than 10 points at any point in the game, if they led by more than 10 points, he's 108, 1-1. He's lost one time after leading more than 10 points, and that one time, Cordell Stewart threw 4 interceptions in the second half. So slash through the picks.
That's
But
a good stat.
No, I really do think that's important because
Bill O'Brien's
building
not gonna
leads
have
one
that
thing.
stat.
no way. Jeff Fisher's not going to have that stat. I definitely think he's a Hall of Fame worthy coach. And on top of it, his playing career, what he's done in terms of developing a lot of young talent. He gets kind of both aspects of the game. And there's a lot of coaches, obviously, that can say that. But he brought it to the table and maximized on it. Should they have gone to more Super Bowls? Probably, or at least one against Dallas. But Dallas was an incredible team that year. You're not going to necessarily fault them with that, with Neil O'Donnell under center. No, I think he's a Hall of Fame worthy coach. It's potential that 3 Steelers will get in the Hall of Fame this year, which is kind of crazy.
Stillers.
Palomalu
and Alan Faneca.
Oh yeah, Alex
which I doubt Faneca will be a first ballot, but
he should be in. He's actually got the highest out of. If you look at the reference,
I think he should be in as well.
The things that break it down.
It's actually not first ballot, but I think it's his 3rd or something.
Yeah, but if you look at all the players on there compared to the other Hall of Famers, the numbers, his is actually higher than the average by a lot.
Yeah.
Faneca's is.
No, he was dominant. It's just offensive linemen. don't have as much flair. I'm going to be super disappointed if Troy Polamalu doesn't get it, though. That's going to be the thing that really sets me off. Because he already got snubbed on the top 100 players of all time. I thought that was a crime. Mm-hmm. Someone should prosecute. There's got to be some lawyers out there. Come on.
Gotta be. So Bill Cowher is 1992 AP Coach of the Year. He goes in also with Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson's a 2-time Super Bowl champ. He's the 1990 AP Coach of the Year. 80-64 record, but I mean, came in 1989 for the Dallas Cowboys, went 1-15, then turned it around.
Does it have Bill Cowher's record?
Hold on, let me pull up Bill
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Cowher came up. They gave me his playing stats, but I'll get the coaches right here. Yep, I'll pull it up. Like you said, 15 years. Cowher is 149-90-1. He had a 623 winning percentage.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it's solid. Let's see, just off the top of my head, looking at it right now, only 2 losing seasons out of 15.
Yep.
That's legit.
Yeah.
I'd
Tomlin
say
has none. It's like they never sink to the lowest of lows, you know.
All right, we got to take our second break. We come back. We're gonna hear Coral's thoughts on the last night's episode of The Bachelor.
There you go. They want to talk Astros too. I'm seeing a lot of Astros in the comments. We'll definitely get there.
We're going to talk Astros. We're going to lead into it, and then we actually have the GM of the Quad City River Bands coming in as well. So we get to it. That'll be our lead into that. But we're going to talk a lot about the Astros after that. But first, let me tell you about the Bayside Bistro in the village of East Davenport. Bayside Bistro is not your ordinary sandwich shop. You won't find deli meat on their menu. They use fresh ingredients, and their orders are made from scratch. From paninis like the Bayside Po' Boy to the roasted beet and green bean salad, Bayside Bistro has an incredible menu that specializes in deliciousness. And don't forget about their smoothies and fresh juices that they make and their incredible dinner entrees. Don't take our word for it. Check out their Facebook page and read the over 500 recommendations from guests. Stop by Bayside Bistro today at 1105, that's 1105 Christie Street in the East Village of Davenport. And remember, if any, gluten-free or plant-based diet, there's plenty of menu options for that. And any catering or private events that you're hosting, you can get a hold of them for as well. It's locally owned. Go check it out. That's Bayside Bistro in Davenport.
This is Rachel Alger with St. Ambrose University, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
New Year's is here, and so are New Year's resolutions. If you're bored with the same old gyms and workout routines, try a different, fresh way to get in shape with a membership to Tarpons Martial Arts Center. Try karate, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, or judo, all taught by certified black belt instructors. With flexible class schedules and 2 Quad City locations, it's very easy to start your path to learning a valuable skill set while you get in shape. Join now, and new students get a free uniform and official t-shirt online at tarponsdojo.com.
At Casey's, we're not just here for our town. We're here for our schools. Introducing new Casey's Rewards, the new rewards program from Casey's that lets you turn your purchases into donations to your school. Sign up in the Casey's app and earn points you can turn into school donations, Casey's Cash, or fuel discounts. New Casey's Rewards. Points for school, points for you, points for fuel, points for good.
It's putt around time. Get your foursome together for the 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Putt Around. Over 20 custom built holes transform the River Center into the most innovative mini golf course ever. Only $30 per person and great for any skill level. Register at puttaround.org before January 17th to be entered into a Quad City staycation giveaway. The 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sister Putt Around, sponsored by Wells Fargo and the Quad City Area Realtors, January 29th through the 31st at the River Center in Davenport. Sign up today.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogalski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night, Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night. Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogulski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
Score a touchdown on your next new or used purchase at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll feel like you've entered the big game each and every time. You'll be treated like a pro player from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh yeah, Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
Sign up to be an ESPN Insider, and you can win prizes every month from the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, we are back on 1170 AM. We're Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. Dan Vasco is in for T-Roy. Coral from 7G is in for Surge. And you can listen to us and leave comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. About 1:15, we're going to be joined by the new GM of the Quad City River Bandits. We'll talk to him about what's going on in minor league baseball, what we can look forward to down at Modern Woodman Park. And we'll also get into a little bit more about what happened with the Houston Astros yesterday. About 24 hours ago, we just got news of the suspensions that were handed down and then the firings of the GM, Jeff Lunau, and manager A.J. Hinch of the Houston Astros. The more I look at it, the more I change my mind on that it wasn't harsh enough. And it wasn't by far harsh enough. It's kind of a joke, if you ask me. But before we get into it, whether you like it or not, folks, there are other competitions out there besides professional sports or college sports, and some of them are competitions of the heart. And these young ladies, they take care of themselves. They get their bodies prepped by drinking things like 100-calorie Bud Light seltzers and getting into gowns and earrings that will dazzle a potential mate. A bachelor, if you will. This is a weird story of how it started. I think you know me by now. It's not as much as we joked around about the man card, and someone said Jay turned in his man card a long time ago. By the way, I don't care about a man card, nor do I like the term man cave. I hate man cave, by the way.
So dated.
I have a man cave. Anyway, not a long time ago, maybe about 3 years ago, decided to start writing more and did it by watching The Bachelor for the first time in my life. Following Ben Hagen's season, wrote my response. And in turn, now I watch The Bachelor, not The Bachelorette, sometimes Bachelor in Paradise. I watch it up until the at-home dates, which is like more like the Final Four, Vasco, for someone who's never watched The Bachelor. Okay. The Final Four, because it's just not as fun anymore. I like the crazy. I like the nightmare. I like the women who are just, they're there and they do the dumbest things possible.
Oh my
I like to point out how dumb they
dramatic.
Are. And just like, why are you doing this? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. So these are the things. So, watch the national championship game, put this on in the background. I got as much as I could, and then I did a Cliff Notes version. I cheated this morning. I listened to a podcast, so I didn't get all the way through.
Wow. So I'm the only one in this room who
But
watched
you did
that
fine.
episode.
Hey, this is the crazy thing. The best thing that's ever pointed out to me because the two crossing the streams, someone said something's wrong with the national championship when the first half takes longer than the entire episode of The Bachelor. And it's true.
Are you serious?
First half did not get over till right after 9 o'clock.
I thought about watching some of it, and I was too tired at that point. But I was like, I mean, it's probably mostly over by then anyway, so why would I? This episode was 2 hours long.
2 hours. It was, and the first one was 3 hours. And I told you last week when you're like, I only made it through halfway. I said it's too much. That was way too much to ask.
These 2 hours was fine for me,
and there was some crazy involved.
In this one. Yes.
First things first. Peter is the Bachelor. He's a pilot. This dude.
Pilot Pete.
Yes.
Wow.
This dude, not only does he get it, I mean, when I say get it, he gets after it. He makes out with everything.
If it has a heartbeat and it walks, he's going to kiss it, I think.
You got to have some standard,
He's an
right?
attractive guy, but he's not the guy. He's your first one off the bench.
Are they trying to go more the average man route? Is that what they're trying to do with it?
This guy is such a player. So I'm sitting here watching it, like the way that he speaks to every single girl he talks to in his little asides, their side conversations, whatever. The way he talks to them, like, it sounds like he's not thinking of any other girl ever. Like, it sounds like they're in a monogamous relationship for the most part.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like to insert myself into these things and be like, what would I feel if I was in this position? If I was one of those girls, I'd be like, how could I ever trust this guy outside of this? Like, clearly, you're not in here to find an actual relationship. This is never going to last. I know some of them have.
That's how I would feel about the show in general, though. I mean, like, you're going on a show to compete for someone's...
Like, oh my gosh. But then I saw the previews for the upcoming episodes, and I was like, all right, I'm hooked.
See?
So they reeled you in.
It got me hooked.
The concept of it to me is ridiculous because
I agree.
We're talking about handpicking 10 women or men, if you're talking about The Bachelorette, 10 people, and for some crazy happenstance, we found one of these 10 is your soulmate. Like, wow,
30.
Really?
He gets to meet and make out with 30 women.
I'm sorry, one of 30. Regardless,
Does
dude.
that not blow your mind, though? 30 women.
That's a lot. That is an insane amount. That's insane.
Oh my gosh! Well, and then
and one of them is from Des Moines,
But like
Iowa.
honestly, the odds of one of them being your soulmate is extremely low, especially when considering now we're dwindling it down to who's attractive and who's outgoing and who could do this and that. I mean,
this is gonna blow your mind. The one from Des Moines is a little crazy.
She's a little crazy town.
There's someone from Des Moines?
Yes.
I liked her at first, but man alive, does she blow things out of proportion.
Yeah. So what kind of happens is it's more of a displacement. Instead of like you're not finding your time with the Bachelor because you're fighting at this point. I think he might have knocked off like 10 girls already. So
yeah, it might be around 20 people now.
And in turn, you're trying to find your time with them, but instead of getting mad that you don't have time with them, you now place your anger towards another young lady, and that's what she does to. And I don't know their names.
Hannah Annan.
There you go. And she's like, you took the time that I was supposed to have with them, and they just kept going on. And she was like, I'm sorry that it took time, but this conversation's over. And she's like, I don't think it is over. When she should be wasting time with the Bachelor. So that was a crazy part of this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I liked that she called McKenna out for taking him away because, I mean, she took him away from all of the girls, but he was specifically supposed to have his little like one-on-one date thingy, whatever, with Kelsey, the girl from Des Moines, and so she took him away. Meanwhile, Kelsey had this whole backstory. She had this bottle of champagne that she had kept for over a year for something so special. She brought it onto the episode to share with Peter or whatever. She set up this nice little area. Well, he goes off with McKenna, and Kelsey is absolutely losing her mind. And she said something to McKenna like, hey, this is really rude. I mean, she came off a lot, but I don't know. McKenna's like, oh, I didn't even mean to come across as rude. I'm like, yeah, okay. You've done this how many times already? It's only episode 2. But anyways.
I love it.
So then.
First off, by the way, everybody, Coral never watched The Bachelor before.
This is the first time I've ever
texted her and said, like, do you watch The Bachelor? She's like, absolutely not. And I was like, I just want someone to just talk this nonsense with me just for a little bit on the show. And what I've done, this poor girl, and now she's like, I'm in. And everything she's saying is exactly true.
Because I get so emotionally invested in these things, so I hate watching
And everybody who sits there and says, like, I can't believe you watched that or whatever, it's so dumb. You feel it too, don't you? Inside, you're like, this is the dumbest thing ever that's going on. And for people to be like, I can't believe it is dumb. It is.
Yeah.
Horribly dumb. But guess what else? Like, professional wrestling is really dumb, and it's scripted as well. And they write the stuff
There's
out.
a lot of I can understand it because like
AB's antics are really dumb.
If Judge Judy is on, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a lot. It's a lot of that, like, across the board, really.
So I was
it's
trying
more
to
just
figure
about
out
entertainment.
to describe Pilot Pete. He looks like the sixth man off the bench. He's not the starter. He's not whatever else. He looks like he's definitely a soccer kid. Like he played soccer.
Nice.
His parents, he loved to sport Umbros and like socks that were pushed down a little bit with his indoor soccer shoes all around. He doesn't come off as the guy, but he's definitely got some talent. And you're just like, and he's always in the right place at the right time.
Charisma.
And you're like, oh, that guy. He's definitely, you do not leave him with your girlfriend. Out of your group of friends that you grew up with, and if you got a group of about 6 to 8, you know there's one. He may be your buddy, thick and thin. He's going to do whatever for you. He'll lie for you, do whatever else.
But you'll also do your
But
girlfriend.
you also don't leave him with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or he's the guy.
Unless you trust your girlfriend.
Yeah, in high school or whatever. Yeah, but the guy's gonna be the guy will like trust me. Pete is. I know this guy.
Because I know it's
I know this guy. And,
man, he is just the way he hugs the girls and kisses them, and the way he just like the tiny little touches he does. I'm like,
it's like
he is
that's
such
like
a player. And he
that's big time
always has
manipulation.
been.
It seems like this guy's a manipulator, huh?
100%.
Butters you up.
He'd be that kind of guy that would like cheat on you and then be like, "Oh well, it's not.
We didn't really
just happen so fast, and like, I really didn't mean to."
And you never said this was monogamous, so we never had this
that
discussion.
Kind of
like
that will just gaslight you for years.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that kind of guy.
And be like, you think I wanted to do it? You just like, you made me do it.
Right. Well, you just. I mean, you did this,
yeah,
and
you didn't
I
talk
just
to me
felt
for
so-
3 days.
Yes.
What was I supposed to
You
think?
didn't text me back for 10 minutes.
I
so
didn't
what
know
else
you
was I
liked
supposed
me
to do?
that way. I didn't know that. I didn't know you felt that way. If I would have known that, I would have never done that.
Right, that kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't like him. But do you have any girls that you really like, Jay?
Well, based on last week, whatever, I think it was in the picture frame that he gave to the girl that he took
That
to.
was cute, but she was
Madison.
annoying.
These things are staged, though. By the way, Kelsey, the girl from Des Moines who has a bottle of champagne that she's been waiting for a year. No, you don't. That didn't go on a flight with you. You didn't know you were getting a rose,
right?
And you didn't get a hold of somebody in Des Moines, Iowa, in Johnson County, not Johnson County, whatever county it is, and say, "Hey, send me this bottle of champagne because I made it through the first one." This is ridiculous. I'm not buying it. It's not happening.
No.
A 1 year bottle of by the way, who in your lifetime have you ever looked at and they've been like, "Hey, this champagne is 1 year's." You've heard of wine where like this is a 1918 or whatever.
Yeah, I've never.
This bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a year.
I
open
thought
for
that was a
something
little
special.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
She blew that way out of proportion, but I feel like there was stuff that we didn't see on camera for sure between her and Hannah Ann.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Hannah Ann, and I don't like McKenna, but Kelsey is kind of cuckoo bananas.
I think it's Madison. I think it's Hannah.
She acts drunk all the time. This Maddie.
There's something with that home date, the one he gave the photo to.
Yeah.
I said she's a lock for the Final Four. There's no doubt about it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, there was someone in this episode that I don't remember them showing really in the first episode that I really liked was Lexi. She's a redhead.
Okay, I saw this.
I liked her, and she goes, "Hey," or her little one-on-one with him. She goes, she did kind of what I would have done probably if I was in that position. She goes, "Hey, I know you were with Hannah B, and I just want to be here to talk to you and not like further my agenda right now. Like, how are you feeling? Are you okay?" Like that kind of thing. And I was like, yes, that's what I wanted to see. That right there. And then they barely showed her the rest of the episode.
How are you feeling? Because Hannah was the old bachelorette. He was on the show with her. You mentioned something. You mentioned something earlier. You mentioned the term gaslighting. So here's a term that's going on in relationships. There's gaslighting. There's ghosting, and the third one now is paperclip.
Paperclip.
And that's what Hannah's doing. That's what Hannah has done with you. Paperclip it, and you come back, and you come back to it to be like,
have something on the back burner.
I feel like it's a dog ear.
You don't.
That's
same
more
thing.
like I would call it.
Yeah, dog ear. You come back to it to be like, oh, you don't really. It doesn't seem like you're pining after me much anymore. So let's come back to rekindle and talk about our past, and maybe you'll like me again, type of thing. I need
but
the
as
attention.
soon as you show me just enough attention, you get just enough attached.
That's called paperclipping.
I'm gonna leave.
So you had gaslighting, ghosting, paperclipping. That's what's going on now. And
I haven't heard that one yet.
The Lexi thing, I liked what he did here. He said he talked about when the first first meet, and she's like, "You don't remember?" And he's like, "No." And she's like, "I came in the red car." And he's like, "I'm just kidding." He pulled out a Matchbox red convertible.
That was
good because obviously we've seen in the first episode where girls are like, "He doesn't remember me," especially the one about her dumb joke about being wet.
That was so weird.
It was very
like,
weird.
Oh.
This girl says in his first meeting, Vasco, she says, "I have a very dry sense of humor." And he's like, "Okay." She goes, "That's the only thing about me that's dry." That was her. That was her first reaction.
Okay.
So, Coral, I apologize, but I'm very happy that I've gotten you into this journey.
I'm mad that I like it.
Yeah, and I'm telling you.
Well, I don't like it. I'm just hooked
It's a
on
guilty
it.
pleasure.
Say what you want out there in the car that you don't like to. Say what you want on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread.
There's a lot of people that are watching it. A lot of men on here that are watching it. He says, "How about when Kelsey drank the champagne?"
The champagne thing was fantastic, by the way.
That
Goose
was
here
so
sent me a
funny.
video. She's like, "I can drink it out of the bottle. I'm not no classy B or whatever else." And then she goes to drink the champagne too fast, and it blows up in her face.
I was sitting there. I had to pause it and just start cackling so I didn't miss anything. I had a couple of friends send a Snapchat video of it to me, and they were just like, "When I say I'm dying
There's
right
a
now."
lot of females there. There's a lot of names.
Oh, man.
They need to do a little bit better off of putting their names every time they talk to them.
Yes.
Not when they do one-on-ones, but when they do the
Agreed.
what would be the confessional type of thing, when it's just them in front of a backdrop or whatever,
Yeah.
talking about things. Put their name up, put their age, where they're from, so that we can figure this
Yeah.
out.
I was having a
Because
hard time with
there's
that.
too many Hannahs. There's too many Laurens. There's too many in this. There's
There's two Victorias.
Two Victorias this year,
Which
and there's too
I
many.
like both of them now.
Okay.
But I like Victoria P better. Victoria F's a little emotional.
Did anybody go home that you didn't want to see go home?
No.
Okay.
That's good. This girl who went home about halfway through, she was wearing this weird pink bedazzled dress. I was like, what in the world is she wearing?
Kelsey from Des Moines is not making Iowa look very good as far when it comes to. And the thing is about it's. I know Illinois is right across the river, and it's easy to be like, well, what about Illinois? But Illinois, majority of the time, it's Chicago, and it's completely different than what would be like our people's idea of what. Of Iowa. Iowa's not been very good as far when it comes to reality television.
Oh my God,
the people that
no.
we've had. We had a Bachelor. He got in some trouble. We've had people on Big Brother. We've actually had two people from Iowa on Big Brother. It really has not really turned out very well for us. And I have a funny story, and I'll before we go to break, I will tell you about it. That there's a gentleman I just found out in the area who is a scout for the show Big Brother.
Really?
Now I don't know if you guys know this or not. I love the show Big Brother.
Yes.
My family watched it.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Tried out for it in Des Moines, didn't make it. So a friend of a friend lives in the same neighborhood. They're like, hey, got to tell you a story. This guy that I've actually been to a house party a couple times, and he's a nice guy. Just found out he works for the show you like. And I was like, oh, Big Brother? Yeah. Yeah, he's a scout for talent. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. He said, so we're going on. We're talking. It's Tyler Drever is the one that tells the story, friend of the show. And he says, my wife was telling him about you. And the guy finally said, talk to me about this guy that loves Big Brother so much. And she goes, okay. And he goes, well, what age is he? And she goes, well, he's older than Tyler, so I think he's about 43. This is a secondhand story, but I think it's true. He goes, that's a check. That's a red mark. That's a red flag. And then they go down the list, and by the third time he goes, that's three red flags. He's out.
You're just
without ever meeting me. This guy told someone else. So I said, I've got to have him on the show. I want him to crush my dreams in front of viewers.
Yeah, you
I've
got to get him on here.
How to get people on in the Quad Cities on reality television. But
I
I've
want
got
to be on it.
I've got to have this guy on the show to crush my dreams and tell me why I don't check off a single box to be on a reality show, Big Brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really
I'm
want to
okay
go on
with
a
that. I'm
reality
okay with the
show.
guy
Well,
telling me no.
do they have
Yes, there's always one older
age
male
groups?
on there.
Okay.
I just don't get it. I've got a phenomenal
Yeah, but see,
backstory.
why would the 43 or whatever she said, why would that check that mark then? Because it technically doesn't if
No.
they do have one
Always.
older guy on there. So, yeah.
Phenomenal backstory.
So, yeah,
See,
I mean-
Dan, you and I get it. I need to get him in here and plead my
Dude,
case.
I mean,
on the
I'll
air.
be your PR guy.
love
You know, I'll try and talk you up.
All right. All right,
We can do this.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the cheating scandal with the Houston Astros, and we're going to bring in the GM of the River Bandits along with Josh as well. We will be back in just a few minutes.
This is Bobby Metcalf from the Quad City Times, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
The experts at Helitech know that a sinking foundation is a serious problem. Uneven floors, separated baseboards, windows or doors that stick can all be signs of significant structural damage that needs to be addressed. Call the foundation repair experts at Helitech to get your free estimate today. If you don't address your foundation issues, they will lead to more serious issues, such as bowed walls, water damage, and even structural collapse. As your hometown foundation repair contractor for over 30 years, Helitech uses industry-leading solutions to repair your sinking foundation. Your home is the largest investment you will typically make. Who better to trust with your family's home than Helitech? They healed my home, they'll heal yours too. Helitech.
Heal your home with Helitech.
Back by popular demand, Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen. Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sell-out audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TaxSlayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TaxSlayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media. It's Putt-Around time. Get your foursome together for the 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Putt-Around. Over 20 custom-built holes transform the River Center into the most innovative mini golf course ever. Only $30 per person and great for any skill level. Register at puttaround.org before January 17th to be entered into a Quad City staycation giveaway. The 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sister Putt-Around, sponsored by Wells Fargo and the Quad City Area Realtors, January 29th through the 31st at the River Center in Davenport. Sign up today.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
We're out in the great north woods of Scott County with outdoorsman and part-time motorcycle maniac Mark Brenny of Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic in Bettendorf to see what he does in the off-season. Hey, Mark, what are you doing up in that tree?
Hunting deer. Don't want the family to starve this winter.
So, what's all that equipment you have there?
Well, there's my thermos, my Walkman Game Boy, pork and beans, microwave, newspaper, well, and of course my trusty gun.
So how'd you get all that out here?
Only one way. Got me a new Yamaha four-wheel drive all-terrain vehicle. Made it in one load. Comes with front and rear racks, A-frame suspension, shaft drive. I even put a camouflage cover on this one.
Okay, so what's with the snowplow?
Well, you never know. Hey, wait, I see a deer.
Mark, that deer is as small as my dog.
So, watch this shot.
Mark, I think you missed.
Well, that's how most deer hunts go. So let's just ride Yamaha four-wheelers the rest of the day. Hey, wait, there's another one.
See them at Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, 4426 State Street, Bettendorf, across from Alcoa.
Did I hit it?
Almost.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogalski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night, Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local here on 1170 AM. We're live in the Hassle Castle. Back to a full house. Serge has got in here. He's on the Facebook, Harrington Pub's Facebook comment thread. They're over there to my left. Coral moved over there. We've got Josh in, Franzen's in, and Dan's in for T-Roy. And then Joe. I'm meeting Joe for the first time. But Joe, You don't have to sit in that chair if you don't. You can stand.
We're good.
It
We're
is.
gonna make
We
gotta have fun with it.
Yeah.
He looks like Barney when he had to wear the ducky tie.
Joe, I'm Jay.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, good to know you, Joe. All right. So, Joe, this is the first time I'm meeting you. You are the new GM of the Quad City Riverbands.
Yeah. So I took over the post here. It was late October, I guess, and I guess I'm a two-time employee of the River Bandits now. So I was here back in 2014 and 2015. So just kind of getting readjusted, I guess. At least I know the area a little bit, but season will be here. I think it's like 90 days away now, so it's creeping up quick.
Okay, I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. We're going to talk a little bit about things that are going on in sports, and we're going to come back more about the River Bandits and what's going on. So you said this is your second stint. Joe, are you from here originally?
Yeah, I grew up by the Rockford area, so Illinois, but close enough to home for me.
Whereabouts in Rockford? I used to work there.
So I actually lived in Freeport and Forest.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know where that is. So
Freeport.
Were you
a pretzel? Yeah, I was gonna say.
At one point, yes. When I was
can't
like,
take him seriously sitting in that chair.
Yeah, well, I might be 6'5" now, but when I was like knee high, I lived in Freeport. So yeah, I was a pretzel at one point.
Oh, no. Okay, so So Freeport area. First thing, Joe. I'm very very happy that you said from the Rockford area and you didn't say I'm from the Chicago area.
No.
Because
Definitely not.
I'm from Chicago. Whereabouts? Just a little bit north of there. No, like what? Like city, suburb? Yeah, Milwaukee.
That happens quite a bit. So, all right. So, and you from there, where'd you go to school at college?
Yeah, I went to undergrad and grad school in Northern Illinois. So, I'm not even going to say Chicago at that point either. Pretty far out still.
And then, so how did you get to the Quad Cities?
Yeah, so I guess kind of real brief is did an internship in Atlanta with the Hawks and the Thrashers, and then I worked full time there with the NBA team, the Hawks, and then I jumped into baseball. I always grew up playing baseball, and baseball and basketball were kind of my passion. So ended up in Oklahoma City. That was an Astros team at the time. They're the Dodgers now, and spent a couple of years there. Got back a little closer to home here, so I was in Quad Cities. Then I went out to Colorado to run their rookie team, and things just came together and ended up back here a couple months ago. So,
did you always want to come back here? Was your eye back on this, or just?
I think you're not the first one to ask me that, but it's always kind of like when I was here back in 2015. Man, we had a great year. We had a great season. A lot of the people that came through here are big league level now, and our ballpark is amazing. So, I don't know if it was ever my goal by any means, but. I'm really glad how things worked out. I loved being here before, and this is a great area. It's continuing to grow, a good place to live. So I'm definitely happy to be back here and planning on being here for a while. So,
yeah, like you said, the ballpark's fantastic, and we all know that. And we'll talk more about the River Bandits and everything. We do need to talk a little bit about the sports that's going on in Surge. We haven't discussed it, the breaking news from 24 hours ago. So
we'll discuss Astros, and then
and now I know it's the Astros, and I know it's your home team, but it's conversation.
We didn't actually get to the Red Sox part of the discussion too. What's going to happen there, and right now it's looking like he's going to get
new Alex Cora.
Yeah, he's going to get the hammer too. Yeah, it's going to be worse.
So, okay, so
why did he laugh?
He's all right because he was heavily implicated in it. Okay, he was the bench coach at the time, right?
Yeah.
And the Red Sox have had their trouble in 2017 with the Apple Watch, and so the punishment itself.
Is this your 24 hours? You've let it process.
Thank you.
Now you're giggling a little bit.
No, yeah. $5 million. Right away we both said I'd pay it to win a World Series. I'd pay it. Then we were like the first and second round picks.
Okay.
Of 2020 and 2021. You're like, oh man, that kind of hurts.
Does it though?
It doesn't, because only like 65% of the first round picks and 52% of the second round picks make it to the major league.
You see what your dad posted?
No, I did not. It was
but what's the percentage of the third, then the fourth, and the fifth? Like now you probably drastically decrease that percentage.
How much money do you save by not having to sign those guys? Is it $5 million?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, but
No, seriously.
Yeah, I get it.
The slot that you're in is already figured.
But most people would rather take that. Most people.
Every time I lean around,
most teams would take that though. They would take the cap hit in order, or not the cap hit, but you know what I'm saying. They would take that for a projected talent in the first or second round. I mean, that's the whole point of why there are those rules in place and what the signings are and things like that. So
now, Joe,
they save money, but they also don't get a player that prestige.
Yeah. Now, Joe, people out there would be like, "Well, ask Joe. He's a general manager." But it's completely different when you're the River Bandits. You're not in charge of player personnel and the draft picks or whatsoever. You're in charge of Modern Woodman Park and the team that's going on there. But you don't make decisions as far as who goes up, who goes down, whatsoever.
Right. Exactly. You know, for us over at the River Bandits, it's more of their. You know, they're just assigning players to us, and they're obviously, you know, placing coaches here and so forth. So for us, right, we don't have any direct, you know, direct line to the Astros by any means. And you know, for myself, you know, I mean, even from my standpoint, I really don't know those guys by any means. No. And you don't ever want to hear anybody loses their job by any means. So, but you know, for us, you know, I guess the way I kind of look at it as a fan is like, it's kind of a bummer we're not going to get to see maybe the first and second round pick possibly here the next couple of years. But you know, they've sent good players through here for the last, you know, 5 years now. So you know, I think they have a pretty good grasp on their, you know, their scouting and so forth. So I think we're still going to see some great players, you know, get assigned here, and you know, I'm sure they're gonna look elsewhere. You know, maybe do they look a little further at, you know, international draft players and things like that. You know, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of all that, but you know, we've had good players like Correa came through here and things like that. So maybe they just focus their options somewhere else.
It's gonna be tough without having Lou now. He had a good pipeline of everything.
I was gonna say though, if there's a team that can weather the storm in terms of like that can kind of take a penalty of this caliber and still make it work, it would be the Astros, who've had the best minor league you know, rosters for years now.
Okay.
You know, there's a handful of teams that could probably make do because of how they foster talent and, you know, scout. But obviously, I think it still hurts not getting some top picks.
So the question that we asked yesterday was, of what's kind of been dished out as punishment, is it enough? Is it appropriate? Or is it too much? Where do you lie here?
With that, we're talking the Astros specifically, right? In my opinion, it's hard to quantify it. I would say it's understandable. I know that's kind of like a cop out in ways, but there's multiple people that are implicated, and I think some have took too harsh of a punishment, while others maybe took too lenient of a punishment, if that makes sense. So I would say the totality of it all is understandable, perhaps enough, but
you're so nice.
I don't know.
You're
I really don't know, though. I don't know.
Joe, hot seat. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, this is the way I kind of thought of it. You know, obviously, I've been so busy getting settled in over there, but you know, I see it on the TV and so forth. But it's, you know, from my standpoint, you know, looking at it from a fan, it's like, what do you really compare it to, though? I mean, do you compare it to something like the Patriots? And you know,
a little bit.
It's you almost have to, but you know, I don't think you really have anything baseball related to compare it to at this point. You know, I mean, when you look at the penalties and so forth, you know, $5 million was the maximum they could dish out. So I mean, I guess they kind of went for the max on it, I suppose, if you want to look at it that way. But yeah, it's really hard to compare it to anything else because we just haven't had things like this happen in sports in general.
I wasn't surprised they fired the manager, but at the same time, like, I thought that's where it was like, I get why they did it, but I don't think they necessarily had to, because he was one of the people throughout this whole thing that showed dismay for the whole thing. Like and granted, like, if you're the manager, you have to take responsibility you have to, and I understand that, and I totally get that aspect of it. But if we want to talk about responsibility in terms of who actually performed, like, he obviously was not the engineer of this, you know. I think certain people maybe, like, he had to, because he's the manager. He said, I'll take the biggest hit, but I don't necessarily think like he had to in terms of, you know, the weight of the problem.
Okay, I don't think it's enough. Still,
it's not enough.
It's not enough. I have nothing against the Astros. I like the Astros organization. I like what we have here in the Quad Cities. I just don't think that's enough. Like you said, there's nothing to compare it to. Maybe the Patriots. And that was a joke of punishment, and nothing came down on them whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like in the end, you have to. Are these guys laughing, going, "We still got our
well,
title.
then and like Jay,
that's all it cost us." Okay.
To
cool.
Jay's point, like you'll pay that.
Yeah.
You'll pay that fine. Like it doesn't really tell anyone like, hey, you can't do this anymore.
Right.
You know,
It's
like
not
this
like
year,
they
Myles
suspended
Garrett
him,
suspended.
and Manfred said, "Hey, we're going to suspend him." That means you have to do a bench coach. They're like, "Okay, suspend him."
Yeah.
And they suspended him for a year, and then they go, "Well, we'll just fire him." They're back to a manager. Like it's. I mean, you got to remember that the Astros, for 1 year they had Bo Porter till they got AJ Hinch. Like they just for a year they're just like, "Oh, we're just going to tie
all I
this guy
picture
for a
is
year."
the guys in the outfield like warming up, like tossing the ball back and forth. You go, "Who's our coach today?" I don't know. It doesn't matter to them.
So the suspension is not hurting them the way like New Orleans Saints when they lost Peyton. They get a new manager. They get a new general manager, and again, the $5 million is not adding up to what they would have to pay for a first and second rounder 4 times over, 4 different times.
You know, to kind of go back to that though is, like you were saying before, historically the Astros have won the last 5-6 years, and they've had a top minor league system. You don't always see that. When teams start to win, they get lower draft picks, and it falls to your 29, 30, things like that. So I honestly, is the punishment enough? I don't think anybody will have the answer to that. But I think we'll get a better sense of it over the next couple years. I mean, how do the players adapt to a new manager this year? It's hard to tell. What kind of deals are they working on currently for the team? I mean, what was Lou and Al working on, and if the Astros are all of a sudden a 500 team this year, well, yeah, that was a punishment that really brought them down a notch, I think, because I think they should easily be a playoff team again. But how does their minor league system look in 3 years from now? What changes atop that we don't even know yet. So I really think it's hard to gauge it, and I guess we'll find out as time goes along here.
Should the Red Sox just be on the forefront and just get rid of Cora?
Yeah, if they were. It doesn't matter though.
Okay.
It doesn't matter at this point. They're just going to wait and see what happens. They're not going to do anything. There's nothing proactive. Like, look at us. We let him go.
They said Major League Baseball said we can't go after any specific player because some of them still are on the teams.
The union.
There's some before this even came out, and I do like Bregman a lot, but there's some things where like you seem to know like what pitch was throwing, and he's very smug at like post game press conferences with like smiles and being like, kind of here and there. But so I don't think I'm not surprised they didn't take away the World Series, because you can't do that.
Why?
And because then
why can't you?
It's a black mark on Major League Baseball overall.
So
and you let time heal all wounds or whatever. All right. And as far as I don't know what they're going to do.
You actually said this 5 minutes ago. Is it going to deter anybody else? Like Josh Weir's just starting to say, it's going to be harsher on the Red Sox. It's going to be harsher on Alex Cora, and it should be. It should still be a lot more. But what's to stop teams from doing this again? In the end, like we said, that's all it cost him? Was it worth it? Yes. So if you want to prevent this from ever happening again, you strip the title. I'm sorry. That's it.
I'm leaning more towards what you said, and we've had Bobby Metcalf in from the Quasi Times say it, and I'm just saying Major League Baseball wouldn't do it. Just like Major League Baseball is not going to answer to a Pete Rose post or the Black Sox. They're not going to rehash the past. They're going to let anything with Pete Rose and Giamatti and Faye Vincent and let that stay there. They're not going to announce. They're not going to come back and say, "Hey, we were wrong. Our decision in the past is we no longer believe in it anymore. We're going to change. They let bygones be bygones. They're going to stick to it." That's just Major League Baseball is going to do.
Stripping the title though punishes a lot of people that it didn't even affect.
Okay.
You're talking about the pitching staff. The pitching staff. Things like that.
But it's also affected the entire Dodgers organization.
You're being compassionate for. I'm not saying the wrong reasons,
I never thought Reggie Bush deserved to have his that taken away, and USC and things that's like I understand.
You can go to
aspects
Penn. You can go to Penn State and think about all that other stuff, and like these guys that had nothing to do with this.
That's completely different, though. In my mind.
Apples to oranges. That's fine, but I mean, we're still talking about people that didn't have anything to do with this that were affected by a decision. Okay, something needs to happen, though. Is my point. Something needs to happen.
Yeah.
Drastically.
I would agree for much harsher punishments, but I don't think stripping the title. I could see
what's harsher.
why.
But then what's
Well,
harsh enough?
I'm sure there are ways to make it to where you are not going to want to go down this road. Yeah, are you willing to sacrifice 5 years or whatever it is for a title? That's up to you to decide. Right. Maybe put in place some independent investigators to maybe have a checks and balances in place for the MLB. I mean, maybe that's a possible route you can go to take preventative measures.
Mm-hmm. I like preventative, and I like having maybe something in place in general to. This is our standard now, so that we don't have to have this stupid conversation. If this happens, this is what's going to happen back.
Yeah,
it's the whole. It's like the iPhones in the bar. Guys still ask, "Hey, who is the world champion of disc golfing back in 1964?" I don't know. Google it.
Yeah.
We don't have to have this conversation anymore. Now we know that this is the punishment. If this happens again, this is what's going to happen.
Before we go to break, Josh, you posted something on social media, and I was the same way. The story, I never met the man, but the GM, Jeff Lunau, I always thought, great story, great dude, and it just leaves a tarnishment. He's just like, he flat out was like, I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, I mean, when I met the dude, he was down to earth and met everyone when he was over at the stadium, and I was like, and after all he's done with the Astros organization, bringing those first round picks in, utilizing them, and then still making those trades where we still have good prospects in the system, all the while we still have Verlander in the system. Like what kind of GM nowadays does that? I mean, you have maybe Theo Epstein, but that's about it. But so when I met the man, I was talking to him. I was like, hey, this guy's one of the Hall of Famers of today. But I don't know. I've been talking back and forth with fans, and they still seem to like him. I mean,
of course, but yeah,
they seem to think Jim Crane kind of.
But Houston fans are going to say I still like him. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, we completely F this up. They're just not going to.
Yeah.
We can call Adam down there and talk about it. I mean, really, what you thought of on Monday was going to be Bill O'Brien being fired. Not Jeff Lunau.
All right. So the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread out there. Our boy Pete
Francis.
Thank goodness. I hope he didn't type all this out. I hope he copied and pasted this. But if you get a chance, some of you that are listening out there on terrestrial radio, if you get a chance, go to our Facebook comment thread and look at what Pete posted in here. He did the dollar amounts by round for each team.
How much they're saving by not getting those picks?
How much they're saving, how much they're what it's worth
good.
By round in order, actually.
Okay.
So this is actually extremely informative.
Thanks, Pete.
This is awesome. I'm actually looking at this. I'm not just scrolling past it.
Pete is an employee of 7G, and so is Coral. And before we get to that, and before we go to break, I don't know if you guys saw what I posted on Sunday, or I'm sure shared or whatever else. The celebration by the Kansas City Chiefs offensive lineman. He did a Stone Cold Steve Austin after the touchdown, took the 2 beers, smashed it, and immediately, like clockwork, someone who doesn't like to have fun, multiple times, someone said, "Oh, there, that guy's out $15.50 for 2 beers, or $16.50 or $26.50." Instead of man, that's a good celebration. And trust me, it happened. There were multiple comments of people saying that poor guy's out of beer,
as if that guy cared.
And I wrote, really? I'm sure Budweiser will take care of him. We've seen this before, and guess what? They will. The fan that gave up his 2 beers to the Kansas City Chiefs tackle, Eric Fisher, who used him to deliver his Stone Cold Steve Austin impression after the touchdown, that Budweiser has reached out to him, and they're able to find that generous fan, and they're going to hook him up with saying thanks for the free exposure. And according to a tweet from Budweiser, fans going to get a whole bunch of buds and some other surprises. And it's the first thing I wrote, too. I was like, I'm pretty sure he will be at the AFC Championship.
No doubt.
Let's not worry about his $19 or whatever he spent for the 2 beers. And move on, and let's just have fun and talk about what a great
it's just like the guy who took the baseball off the chest and played.
That's what it is. Exactly what it is.
Yeah. Oh, that dude's a hero.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. Don't ask the local. We'll talk to Joe. We won't talk any more about the Houston Astros. We'll learn more about the Quad City River Bandits. All right.
This is WQAD's Matt Randazzo, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local
on ESPN 93.5.
It's putt around time. Get your foursome together for the 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Putt Around. Over 20 custom-built holes transform the River Center into the most innovative mini golf course ever. Only $30 per person and great for any skill level. Register at puttaround.org before January 17th to be entered into a Quad City staycation giveaway. The 15th annual Big Brothers Big Sister Putt Around, sponsored by Wells Fargo and the Quad City Area Realtors, January 29th through the 31st at the River Center in Davenport. Sign up today.
Get your maximum refund and your taxes prepared for half the price with AmeriFile.
I'm Christy, a single mom from Bettendorf. I got tired of paying $250 at H&R Block, so I went to AmeriFile. As advertised, they did my taxes for far less than half the price.
Bring in a copy of last year's tax return done by H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, Liberty Tax, or any other tax preparer, and we will cut your tax prep fees in half, guaranteed.
This year, AmeriFile has the best tax prep deal in town. Save hundreds having your taxes prepared with AmeriFile, and you get free Rudy's Tacos, free Whitey's, free Chick-fil-A, Hungry Hobo, or Fresh Blend Smoothies. Trust AmeriFile's 30 years tax experience to handle any simple or complex tax situation. Remember, this tax season, save hundreds with AmeriFile, the best tax prep deal in town. Free Rudy's Tacos, Whitey's Ice Cream, or Hungry Hobo. AmeriFile Tax Centers, Davenport, Moline, and Clinton. Call 762-8087. That's 762-8087 or AmeriFile.com.
H&R Block is a registered trademark. After price taxes from last year's fees. $75 minimum.
Back by popular demand, Gobo Productions presents One Night of Queen. Since forming in 2002, Gary Mullen and the Works have performed to sellout audiences all over the world. And now they're back in the USA for a brand new tour. One Night of Queen is a spectacular live concert recreating the look, sound, and showmanship of arguably the greatest rock band of all time. You'll hear classic Queen numbers including We Will Rock You, Fat Bottom Girls, Another One Bites the Dust, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Are the Champions. One Night of Queen, performed by Gary Mullen and the Works. This show will rock you.
Coming to the TextLayer Center March 18th. Tickets are on sale now at the TextLayer Center box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Town Square Media.
Dust off your thinking caps, grab your best buds, and attend St. Ambrose Alumni Trivia Night. Saturday, January 18th, the Rogalski Center Ballroom will be flooded with knowledge. Will you sink or swim? All proceeds benefit the St. Ambrose Alumni Association and the St. Ambrose Children's Campus. Join the St. Ambrose Alumni Association for a trivia night, Saturday, January 18th at 7 p.m. Mulligans and doublers are available for purchase at the door. Reserve your table online at sau.edu/alumni for SAU Alumni Trivia Night.
When storm damage hits, All Major Restorations is your insurance claim specialist. Loose or missing shingles, dented siding, or damaged windows. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities works with your insurance company, making the process quick and easy. The insurance company has people fighting for them. Let All Major Restorations work for you. Residential, commercial, and industrial. There's a reason they have an A+ accredited Better Business Bureau rating. Storm damage estimates are always free. Visit amrestorations.com. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities.
Download the ESPN 1170 app today and listen to the Quad Cities' only local sports show from noon to 2. From anywhere in the world, we are the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle Us Local here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right TV and Security Solutions. We're live on ESPN 1170 AM. That's your cue.
We are. we are live.
I did point to you here on this.
In a world. I don't pay attention to you guys. You know this. Front Street Brewery, the oldest brew pub in the state of Iowa, is nestled beautifully along the bank of the mighty Mississippi. Is my microphone on, Jay?
Yes, it
is. Awesome, cool. It's serving the fine community of Davenport, Iowa since 1992 with awesome beers such as the Davenport Gold, satisfying American ale, pale strand color with a sweet corn-like aroma and a crisp, clean finish. The wise guys there take on the instantly recognizable German wheat beer that staked its claim on palates around the world. Noble German yeast beer, this refreshingly sweet and smooth brew, features a citrusy tart aroma with significant notes of banana and clove. The Raging River is their English-inspired American India Pale Ale. IPA, for those of you paying attention at home. It's incredible balance, featuring an earthy, slightly fruity hop aroma with moderately bready malt notes. Bronze-colored IPA that you don't need Jay's beer to drink. It's your gateway IPA. Check out their Facebook page for food and drink specials. Also visit their webpage at www.frontstreetbrew.com.
I got to shave because I can't show my age because they're not going to let me on that Big Brother
That's
show.
right, yeah,
So
you got to get on
I got to go clean. If I go clean shaven, you guys, I will look like I'm 22 years old. No, anyway. All right, we're talking. Joe, I don't even know your last name.
Kubley.
Joe Kubley.
Oh, that's fun.
How do you spell that?
The
Kubley.
GM,
Most people say Kubley. Yeah, I just answered or whatever at this point. So
How do you
K-U-B-L-Y. Yeah.
K-U-B-L-Y.
the new GM of the Quad City River Bandits. Before we get into more about the River Bandits,
He looks so much better now.
Serge,
A little higher.
There you go.
Joe, Josh, you guys weren't here in the first hour. National championship game.
Yeah.
What did you guys think? Josh, we'll get to you. We'll get to your Oklahoma Sooners soon.
How are those Bud Light seltzers, Jay?
They're good. Do you want one?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mango
or lemon lime?
Mango or
They're fantastic. I can't wait to have one at Modern Woodman Park and watching the Quad City River Bandits.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
there you go.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, they're very good, and you can get them today. It's the release. They're out there in the wild now. National championship game. Joe, did you have any interest in the game, or did?
Unfortunately for me, no. I flipped it on a little bit. I'm still in the process of unpacking, repacking, and moving again. So I kind of caught bits and pieces, but I think it kind of went how I expected it to go. I didn't think Clemson was going to give them even the game that they did, but
wow.
Hey, at least they hung in there.
Yeah, they had to lead 17-7. Josh, your Oklahoma Sooners did not show up, and that is not a surprise to anybody in the semifinals. I'm sorry, Josh.
They play tonight, right, Josh?
Oh yeah, they do. No, I was kind of going through that game. I was like, oh, I don't know. I have respect for LSU program, so I was like, I'm not trash talking this program or anything. So I knew like gearing up through all the season, I saw highlights and stuff, and so I was like, oh, this might not be good. In the first series, when they're 4-3 now, I was like, yep, it's over. I kind of stopped watching after that halftime. I was like, oh man,
And that was the semifinal game. Did you watch the national championship last night?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Or first quarter, then I had to go to bed. But yeah,
because it took so long.
Yeah.
Serge, what did you think?
Man.
What were your
Those
thoughts
are
on
like
the game?
4.5 hour long dedications. It's
loved
incredible.
every minute of it. Turn on ESPN2.
Man, the halftime is way too long.
You need to
college.
watch ESPN2. Pat McAfee is nuts, and Dan Orlowski. Those guys made it so enjoyable. And thank you to my friend Matt Janizer, who's like, you guys need to turn on ESPN2. And I did, and I was enthralled by everything that they were doing over there. The game, what did you think?
It was awesome. And how incredibly wrong was I?
Yeah, same here.
I was wrong.
Same here.
I said I'm probably going to be wrong.
Yeah.
My point was Clemson has not lost a game since January 1st, 2018. Trevor Lawrence hasn't lost a football game since he was in high school in 2017.
Yeah.
So I bet against him, but that just proves how good LSU was. So
you said that without he would underthrow a ball and they're like, this isn't very Joe Burrow like, and then out of nowhere just boom.
Yep.
And you mentioned it earlier in the first hour, Dan. You said you're like, oh, he got hit and then he just rolled out of it and made a play. And there's every game that you watch of LSU with Joe Burrow, there's a Joe Burrow play, and you're like, that play is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do think the pass
But
interference
there
call,
is a Trevor Lawrence one for every Clemson game too,
I think that that would have been it. Without that pass interference call, it would have been a different game.
Yeah.
They would have been right back in it within 7 points, if not 3.
I must have been on my feelings. At some point, I started Googling movie quotes from my favorite football movie of all time. Do you remember what it is?
It's The Program.
The Program. Thank you. Good job. I was Googling. I just pulled up my Safari here, and I have my Google search. It's The Battle. They go into war with the other guys, hang together, having our own dorm, staying in hotels the night before the games, setting ourselves apart, being different than everybody else, having a chance to be somebody, to do something that people look up to you for, your strength, your courage. Not everybody can play football. We're the lucky ones.
You go ahead and take that quote. Go take it with Joe Burrow smoking a cigar. And then put Joe Kane, Joe Burrow. It's the exact same person.
You should. You should put that out there right now, sir.
Yeah, just take that quote and put it on there in your
that was Latimer from the Program.
Oh, it was Latimer that said
did all the steroids.
Right before he put his head through a car window.
Place the table. Starting defense.
It was just, again, how this kid, I hope it just doesn't. I hope he has a great career in the NFL. 463 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, no
He's gonna
turnovers.
be incredible. That was a question again. The dumb question at the middle of the bar. You think this guy's going to have a career in the NFL? Yes.
I think they both are. Yeah.
Really? Yes. Trevor Lawrence is going to have an amazing career in the NFL. You know, barring.
Well, have you guys seen those Oklahoma Sooner quarterbacks in the NFL?
Yeah.
I just kidding,
Yeah.
Josh. Giving you a hard time.
Kyler's going to be rookie of the
Jalen
year.
Hurts, first overall. Let's go.
Kyler's going to be rookie of the year.
All time.
I just don't like Trevor.
Why?
Because of the long hair.
No, because Ohio State they
First
lost.
the long hair. Well,
I appreciate
think
your
the whole
conviction to
Buckeye
go
thing
against
is
it.
the
Well, he's got 1 year left still, right?
Yeah.
So Clemson's got to be your favorite.
They are the
They
favorites.
should be,
They've already
yeah,
come out
yeah.
2 to 1
They're
favorites.
2 to 1 favorites.
They've actually got and going into this, they've got the #1 recruiting class as well. So they're the favorites, and it's Alabama, and then it's actually right in front of me. Maybe it's not right in front of me, but yeah, it's Clemson, Alabama, and then I can't remember who third is.
It's the same as me not liking Steph Curry. I mean,
LSU is 9-2, Ohio State 7-1.
we were talking about this last week.
Yeah.
Okay. Coral's talking sports over here.
So Joe, let's talk about the River Bandits real quick.
All right.
All right. We're going to talk about the thing that majority of the people are going to ask you about going into the season before it happens. The idea of the minor league baseball system and is it up in limbo? What's going on? And let's teach the people exactly, the listeners, what's going on. For those who might be sitting there saying, well, there's not going to be a River Bandits team or minor league baseball anymore because they're going to get rid of it.
Yeah. You know, we're going to have baseball here regardless. You know, we're not there were some reports out there that they're looking at, moving some teams around or, transitioning, contraction, things like that. And, you haven't heard a whole lot about it lately now since we had winter meetings and things like that. I mean, obviously there's ideas out there. There probably is places that they could, maybe mix some things up. Like you have to look at our facility. Our facility is great. I mean, I don't even think we could count on, half of our hands in the room here, how many people that are major league teams would want to have our facility. I mean, it's above and beyond. And I think I've been to about 60 minor league parks across the country now. And I mean, literally Modern Women Park stands out above most of these. I mean, I even
above all.
Yeah,
above all.
It wins like first spot, like year after year, right?
When you're looking at single A ballparks, we're right at the top, no doubt. So, something else that they talk about is they're like, oh, we want less travel and things like that. And I can say that the league I previously was in was, we were making a lot of long trips. We were going from Colorado to Montana to Idaho and everywhere in between. Where here it actually makes a lot of sense. Us. We have, 5 different commuters. We're going to Peoria and back, and Burlington, Clinton, Cedar Rapids.
King County is like right.
Yeah, it's not even that much further. So honestly, the Midwest League in general makes a lot of sense when it comes to travel. And I don't know what they would want, above and beyond for a facility or anything. But obviously for us, if there was anything we needed to change at the park, we're definitely going to make it happen. So, they keep tossing around these ideas about the short season teams. And, previously I was running a short season team, but, we were running that team with 4 people. I mean, obviously we had a bigger coaching staff than we did a front office that was running the operation. So, they keep talking about moving the draft back and things like that. But,
they did move it back.
Yeah,
after the College World Series.
Yeah, and that's it. They were, I think they had mentioned in one of the articles they wanted to move it to August or something like that. And, I think at the end of the day, what fans, whether you live here or in Florida or Texas or wherever your team may be, is, they still need somewhere for these players to play at the end of the day. And we're gonna continue to be, the best ballpark in single A, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to get there. And I think all the powers that'll be will go ahead and figure this all out, and we'll be going with 160 teams for the next 20 years again. They just get to figure things out, and everybody has a different idea at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, people need to play baseball somewhere, and like I said, especially our league, it makes a lot of sense, and most of these leagues do.
But why is the idea even started? Like, why did Major League Baseball say we need to look at it? You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing is, kind of what I've taken from this, or what I've been kind of told was, sure, there were a lot of major league owners that probably said, yeah, hey, we want to save money, but at the end of the day, they don't always understand like I said how we have commuters and where these teams are located and things like that, where it really needs to be a talk between owners of the teams and our league presidents and more of the GM or the player development directors. Those are the people that understand the ins and outs and how am I going to get this player from Florida to wherever they need to go next, on a flight and so forth. And that's another good thing for us. We have a big airport here, surprisingly, and it's easy to get in and out of, and that's just another bonus for the River Bandits. So where did it stem from? I'm sure it was, hey, how can we save money? And it goes back to other things where they talk about, like, we were just talking about the signing bonuses, or these ones that the Astros may lose and so forth. But it's like, they keep saying we want better facilities. Great, we'll do whatever it takes to make them better. And I think when I say that as one GM of the 160, I think every GM will say whatever we need to improve on, we'll make it happen. But at the end of the day, it's like, if they want to pay players more money, they really have to consider on their end. We're not the ones that are paying salaries or paying signing bonuses. And there's also been people that talked about, hey, do they get rid of the signing bonuses and just pay everybody $45,000 a year to play baseball, and everybody has a equal slate at that point? I'm not saying that's the correct answer. That was just something I heard somebody grumbling about. Well, hey, if they want to change it, but there's a lot of things that are out of our control, and it is a $1 billion business at the end of the day. But for us here, we're really providing a community and a community organization and affordable entertainment, and we don't have a whole lot to say at the top of the poll. If you can have 200 players, you can have 150 players. All I really know at this point is, hey, we're gonna field the team this year. The Astros are gonna send us great players, a coaching staff, and hopefully we're gonna win another championship ourselves here.
Yeah,
I think your mascots need a raise.
So I'm going to get to that. So when you say the facilities, and we'll make better facilities, by the way, you have a great facility, because I actually been here long enough to know John O'Donnell Stadium and what it was before and the transition in between. And we've had the opportunity to go behind the scenes and see things that you guys have had,
Josh,
including.
Does he know this?
And we were both. We got to do.
He was telling me in the hallway.
We called an inning of a game, or we called the batters. Yeah. So Serge and I, we got to call.
This is so much
the
fun.
People call it the batters
Such
coming
cool
up. The PA announcer. We got to do. Each of us got to be the mascot, and then we did the sumo.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah, I do. It was great sumo.
That's a good one.
But the mascot, man.
You guys were probably sweating your asses off.
Yeah.
Those are hot.
Sumo was like, it was more the waiting, like where we're waiting.
I get it.
It's got a little hot there, so. But once we waddled our butts out there, and then did he? Did you? It's exactly what we did. Did Josh tell you exactly how it went down? Or just the fact that we did it?
No, he just said that you guys did it. So you guys.
The sumo was the funny, and this is luckily our friends that were there videotaped this, Snapchat or whatever, social media. Jay and I are in the sumo suits. We have the only thing that he and I scripted. Was, all right, like I'm gonna hesitate for a second, and then I'm gonna do this. We like one little thing. I didn't know he was gonna do this. We stopped as they said go. Jay turned around and ran the other way. So this is really funny. Like, so picture it in your mind, and I have the video footage. He turns around and runs the other way. I didn't know how long it was going to be. So we stopped, we turned back, and he looked at me like we were just going to hug it out. Okay, this is not scripted. I'm like, okay. So I fell for it, right? So I'm like, okay, we'll go hug it out. He starts charging at me.
It did not work out well.
So all he did was start charging, but it's so hard to get moving in those suits. But I had size on my side, so I just leaned forward and leaned into him. That sucker bounced.
Yeah.
And they said whoever falls either way, like I said, not scripted, whoever goes down, the other person, the finishing move is you have to just lay on top of them to signify it's over. So once he went down, I'm like, oh, I get to go jump on him. And I jumped on him. And we couldn't stand up. They had to help us stand up.
Yeah. I was like,
that seems like it'd be the most difficult part of the whole thing.
Yeah. And
just getting back to your feet.
I'm out there flexing. And I didn't know this until I saw the video. I'm out there flexing and cheering and looking at the crowd and everything. And Jay's still trying to get up.
But that is what you guys bring, the fan interaction to everything there. And it is fantastic. There, you have something coming up with Dayton Moore. Let's talk about that.
Yes. So we're doing a hot stove dinner here. Dayton Moore. Obviously, I think a lot of sports fans in the area probably know he's the GM of the Royals there. Went to Moline High School. That's one of Josh's cues, I think. So, but yeah, we're doing a dinner. It's going to be on, I have to give you the exact time and dates here. So we're January 29th. Doors open at 5:30. Dinner will be at 6:30. And then we're going to do a program at Dayton. So it's going to be what we're trying to do is more of a program. It's going to be more of an interview with him, and then people can ask questions and interact and so forth. So we really want whoever's coming to really be part of it. That's the whole goal here. Something different, something we haven't always done in the past. I don't think we've really done anything like this as far as I can remember. I think maybe back when we were Cardinals affiliate, used to do like they do the caravan, bring a player or something.
Yeah.
But I think it's really unique. This guy has a great resume. If you don't know it, a lot of players that have went through him have had a lot of success. They've won a World Series and so forth. So if you're interested in something, whether you're a sports fan, a baseball or not, I think it's going to be a unique experience that people will be talking about for a while. So and if you do want to come out, it's $60 for the night. That gets you dinner there at the ballpark. If you're interested, give me a shout. I'm your contact, so you can reach out to us on our direct line at 563-324-3000, or you can email me, joe@riverbandits.com. So let me know if you want to be part of the night. And like I said, I don't think it's something you'll want to miss. And we already got a good handful of people that we're excited to come out. So
you said it's kind of like a Q&A, though? There's a time where you can ask questions?
Yeah, so what we're kind of tentatively looking at for a format is, we'll try to sit down and kind of talk, and we'll have kind of a list of questions, get to know Dayton a little more, and things like that, where it's more of a, I guess you'd say, I don't know if you say intimate setting, where you're kind of just like, hey, kind of give you his background, how he got to where he was, kind of where baseball currently is, where baseball's going, and what's changing, and then obviously, we want to get the crowd involved, and we'll kind of flip it over to them and start taking questions more one-on-one. And I think it'll, like I said, probably start at 7, and I would assume it'll probably be a hour-long event once we get going at 7 there. So should be fun.
We ask him, instead of banging on a garbage can, what would you do? I don't think that'll go over well. What would you do to make sure to get the signs there? No, that's a great. And you said that's January 29th, and they can get a hold of you. Is there a website or anything else?
Yeah. No, I'm your contact for that. Okay. So like I said, we actually kind of put this together in a hurry here. So our owner has a pretty good relationship with Dayton, and one of Dave Heller, our owners, one of his other teams is a Royals affiliate. So just happened to make sense. Obviously for us, we are an Astros affiliate, but I think this has a more a connection to home more than anything else, with Dayton being from Moline. So kind of a unique thing to give a shot at.
We didn't ask you, Joe. What are your teams that you follow outside of the Houston Astros? What teams do you follow?
So yes, I'm from Illinois. So I guess there's always a small part of my heart. I'm a White Sox fan, so I know some people will turn and look the other way, but some people are on my side.
Now's the time to be a White Sox fan.
Right at me.
Yeah, this is.
We're talking Dayton Moore too, and I truly believe the White Sox. This is their year to win the Essential.
There's another White Sox fan in the Quad Cities now.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. Hey, there's two of us now. So we're almost there.
There's a club. We have meetings on Thursdays.
Oh man, let me know the location and time. I'll be there.
I got you.
It's at Model Woodman Park now.
Great.
It just got a lot bigger.
Yeah, and if you're talking about sports, I mean, I'm all in Bears, Blackhawks, and Bulls. So that's just me being from Illinois. I think.
Are we gonna wait till tomorrow to talk about this?
Hey, I'm glad I'm in a tall seat now.
Are we gonna wait till tomorrow to talk about this OC? Because we only have 2.5 minutes left that the Bears hired. That is the biggest fart noise hire.
Outing.
Yeah.
Like why? Why?
All right. Good job, Bears.
Bud Light Seltzer.
Yeah. Way to end it.
That's a great way.
Joe and I are gonna.
Hey, but it's better than hiring Stefanski as your head coach. So there's that, I guess.
Well, maybe McDaniels didn't deserve it, but Joe, thank you so much for coming in. We look forward to talking with you again.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Times. Josh, thank you always for reaching out and being a fan of the show and being a part of the show. We appreciate it. And Vasco, thanks for always answering the bat signal whenever we say, hey, we need someone to come in.
Sure, man.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in every Tuesday. It's 7G and Budweiser and bringing this Bud Light Seltzer.
Except next week, it'll be Wednesday.
It'll be Wednesday next week, which is fine.
We gotta let my fan club know.
See you next Wednesday.
Is my crown gonna be here by next Wednesday?
Sirs, thank you so much for coming in. I was bringing
my pleasure.
Yeah, I was bringing a little bit extra to the show, and I'm sure it made plenty of people happy on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment
Don't
thread.
want to leave anybody left out there. We still care about you.
So we are pitchers and catchers report in what 59 days, 60 days?
Oh yeah, it's quick. Opening days here, April 9th. We're under 100 days, so it comes quick. It really does.
Joe, we're gonna have to talk about this after the show. Don't judge me. I'm gonna have to wear a Cubs hat for a month.
Oh yes,
that's a bummer, man.
Yes.
Okay. So
Can you at least wear it backwards and you see the MLB logo?
Oh, yeah.
Then?
There you go.
That sounds good.
Joe, again, thank you so much. Josh,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dan, Coro, Serge. You guys have a hassle-free Tuesday. We will see you tomorrow in 22 hours. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.